Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, if after this round I don't give my teammates, my partners, the opposition, and myself feedback and criticism, it sends a message that everyone did perfectly fine, it's all good, and that there's no room for improvement. But just like anything, we can always improve, especially in this debate wherein the people we're trying to help are the opposition party trying to fight against the incumbents. Last time I checked, Lenny, Bamakino, Risa Hontiveros, they're all getting dunked on by the conservative majority at a point in which they don't have enough power and criticism to be able to stand against them. Heck, even Lenny wasn't able to win the previous election cycle. Boo-hoo. So, if at any point the Liberal Party or the people fighting for those ideologies, who, by the way, Miguel in his speech properly proved very clearly, do have the interest of the opposition party, therefore it's principally aligned to be able to call them out in order to unlock the benefits that Miguel talked about, which are access to a plurality of ideology and the capacity for these people to make decisions. That uniquely responds to the material that they get about wanting to lose votes. Yes, on our side, we have that trade-off, but we think it's completely justified to shatter the worldview of these people at a point in which they might be looking at a false prophet. Especially if Hesaya characterized a lot of these things to be very misconstrued and troll-farmy. So at the point in which this criticism at worst gets misunderstood and lost in translation, we prove to you coming from Miguel that these are legitimate extensions and decisions. And in my speech, you get the flip to depth about how this is actually good, because absent this criticism, they're gonna have blind servitude, not challenging anything. What have we proved to you from our side? We've proved to you three things. Number one, what exactly is the interest of these liberal groups? Number two, what do opposition parties want? And number three, how do we actually get a chance to be able to have seats when this criticism plays out? Because at best, taking Gov, they posit three very important things, right? Number one, a principle of security. Number two, this mech on the troll farms. And number three, this case about not wanting to fracture the movement, wanting to focus on positive reinforcement and not losing support. Let's examine those versus the material you get coming from our side. Number one, in terms of this idea of security, we think that, yeah, that's good, but it becomes more not secure if you lead them into this death trap of voting the very same thing and not changing strategy at the point in which we prove to you to be inefficient. Number two, this mech of the troll farms is exactly what motivates our side of the house. We need to understand, you are the opposition minority, you're going against the bad guys who are conservative, who have the levers of power. So, in order to not be susceptible to their tactics, you need to improve the argument as opposed to shouting louder or saying the same thing at the point in which you're able to call out their political strategy, something you get from my speech. Third is this idea about the voter base, because at best, Gov proves that they have some sort of shortfall, meaning people like bounce. But as what Jaron Wade in his whip speech, he talked to you about how that's something that's justified because we're going to be able to make those back when we're able to clarify the stances from within and prevent them from setting themselves up for more disappointment and more stress, where Lenny et al. And all these people come gung-ho into the next election cycle without criticism, setting them up either at worst an even larger thrashing or at best minor thrashing or a chance to sway the election either way. For all these reasons, it's a clear op ballot.